Hello, all you legends. It is a pre-game show. We've got, what have we got on today? 10 games? It's Wednesday. I don't even know what day it is. 10 games on today, and that's what we're going to look at. Good to see you guys here. I'll wait for the crowd to shuffle in. Get a few more people here. Good to see you guys. 2 shows out already today. The regular waiver wire show plus the streaming show for Thursday that is already out, ready and done. What do we just get? A bunch of updates on guys. Marcus Morris doubtful tomorrow. Nick Batum questionable. Jarrett Allen playing today. Darius Garland playing today. Cade Cunningham playing. Tyrese Maxey questionable. What else have we got here? Looks like Jalen Williams is going to be out for a few games. Same with Isaiah Joe. Keldon Johnson's out today. Zach Collins is out today. Luke Kennard's doubtful tomorrow. Derek Rose upgraded to doubtful. A lot of stuff going on. Derek Jones and Dante Exum are out. Pistons starting Cunningham. Oh my God, they're starting Muscala. Not Asar. With Isaiah Stewart out, they're starting Muscala, the Pistons. Not even Gallinari. Muscala. I can't with this team. What are they doing? Hello, everybody. Welcome into the show. Let's have a look at the lineup page that we've got up and see that. Good to see chat, everyone here. Yeah, we'll do a dribble game. Victor, don't worry, mate. We'll be in there. I can't believe Muscala's starting. Well, I did not think that. I thought maybe they could go Gallinari. I thought maybe they'd go with Knox. I thought you'd maybe want to see what Asar Thompson can do on a terrible team. But no, you'll go with 34-year-old Mike Muscala, who is your backup center. So that means you're now prioritizing Wiseman into the rotation? Jesus Christ, this team. The dicks. Oh, my God. How many hours do I work a day? It's a really good question, aka 45. Probably up at around, depends. My alarm goes off at 5:30. Sort of sit in bed for 30 minutes or so, catching up on news. And I'm normally done by, let's say, 5:30. That's 12 hours, about 12 hours a day. All right, let's go do dribble game while I just try and adjust to that nonsense. Bloody hell. And then we'll go back and look at these lineups and talk about them. Let's hope dribble game's tripped me up the last 2 days, so let's see how we go. I got them eventually. All right, who we got here today? Reggie Jackson to Tim Hardaway Jr. Okay, so Timmy. Hawks, Knicks, Mavs, Reggie, a lot of teams. Markieff Morris? Was he ever play with Reggie? I don't think so. Has he? Marcus has, but not Markieff. Reggie Jackson to Tim Hardaway. Russell Westbrook ever play there? No. Durant with Hardaway? No. Harden and Hardaway? No. Ibaka? No. Pistons guys with Hardaway? Chris Wood? Was Jackson there? I think he was. Yes. All right, got it. Thank you. All right, so the lineups. Bulls. White, Dosunmu, Caruso, DeRozan, Vooch. What is this Hornets lineup? Bryce McGowan's is starting. Not PJ Washington. Why? Who's their point guard? Cody Martin again. Bryce McGowan's. The man's been out of the rotation. Jesus Christ. Bryce McGowan's. Cody Martin, Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, Nick Richards. What is going on? Paul George is out with that groin issue, which is definitely not a problem. Definitely not. Clowns. Amir Coffey is starting. The Wizards lineup is confirmed. Jones, Paul, Avdia, Kuzma, Gafford. Cade. We're going to change that. Kevin Knox is not starting for the Pistons. What a disgusting lineup that is. The Cavs lineup's confirmed. Well, we're back. Garland, Mitchell, Strus, Mobley, Allen. Great. The Magic lineup, so Fultz replaces Isaac. That's confirmed. Fultz, Suggs, Wagner, Banchero, Carter. The Thunder guys are all in apart from the Bronco. We think Cason Wallace is going to start. We've got 2 questionables for the Pelicans. That's Herb and Zion. So Trey Murphy's got a pretty good chance of starting there. Grayson Allen still questionable for the Suns. Jaden Hardy we expect to start for the Mavericks. We got Hardy, Hardaway, Green. Hardy Hardaway. Sounds like that first joke from like The Simpsons when Bart goes to the gifted school. It's like a RDRR. One of the worst jokes ever. Hardy, Hardaway, Green, Grant Williams, and Dwight Powell. Mike Conley's back for the Timberwolves, so he'll start over Alexander Walker. I cannot get over that lineup, man. Herb and Zion are both out. There you go. Herb and Zion are out. So Trey Murphy and Dyson Daniels, I guess, would start. But it could be Namur legend Jordan Hawkins. It could be Najee Marshall. Trey will definitely start, though. So let's see. That's interesting. Okay, Mike Muscala, man. I can't with that. How is everybody in the chat here? We all good? With the footage of Desmond Bain at shoot-around, do you think he'll be back this year? That's the thing. It wasn't footage. It was like a still photo. So I don't know what he was doing. Do I think he'll be back this year? There is a lot of steam pushing towards yes, but none of this makes sense. His time frame initial was reevaluated in 6 weeks. That's in 3 weeks' time. We're not even at the 3-week period yet. We're getting close, but we're not quite there. So I don't really know what's going on. And if you're back within 3 weeks, practicing, or back within 6, that is not a grade 3 ankle sprain. I don't care what they tell me. It's not. A grade 3 ankle sprain is a complete tear of your ligament. So somebody lied or misreported or something. So it does look like he'll be back, but why he'll be back, I don't know. Do I think Giddey will be traded before the deadline? I do not. Do I think the NBA should have a more flexible game limit for awards? Yeah, they shouldn't have any game limit for awards. There's no need for the awards. Someone gave me this great corollary thing. It was like I can't remember what it's called. I wish I got a million tweets to look through. But it's this thing that when you set a benchmark, the benchmark then ceases to become an actual benchmark because all people are doing are trying to hit that benchmark rather than doing the other things that they need to do for best performance or whatever it's called. I wish I could find what that theory is called. The benchmark theory name. What's it called? No, I wish the guy. I can't find it. There's so many tweets that I had. I can't find what it is. Oh, it was such a good tweet. Sorry to that, man. I'll find it later. Does anyone know what it is? What I'm talking about? Have the Grizz not been? Yeah, yes, they've been terrible. The Grizzlies are the original. The Grizzlies are the original Hornets in terms of injury reporting. Multiple times of bad injury reporting. But like, what do you do when they officially put out something saying 6-week reevaluation, grade 3? Everything tells you that's like, it's not 6 weeks, it's longer. There's no rush to bring him back. And then he's going to be back in 4 weeks. What do I gauge from Woj's update, non-update? I don't gauge a huge amount from it, Karan. I think it's watching the clip multiple times of Embiid's thing. Obviously, he already had the knee issue and soreness, which probably should have kept him out another 2 weeks anyway. You put this on top of it, I would guess it's like, it didn't look like, wow, terrible MCL done, ACL, doesn't look at anything like that. It was a sort of a weird back hyperextension that didn't fully hyperextend because the floor obviously stopped it. The update is annoying because I wish we got more info. I would say it's like a 2 to 3 week thing, but yeah, through the All-Star break, I'd guess. But I got no idea. It's hard to judge, and I don't really get much out of that from Woj. Sealy, I am glad one person grabbed the reference there. Patrick, why are people asking me about this? Would I ever do watch-alongs for games? There's been like 4 people in the last 3 days. I will probably do it at some point in the real-life playoffs, but during the day when the games are on, I can't because I've got to be working. Like, I'm monitoring all of the news that comes through on Basketball Monster, adjusting all projections, minutes, preparing shows to record later in the day. So I couldn't actually be giving you the attention to be speaking, talking, interacting, watching a game while doing all those things. It's impossible for me to do. So in the playoffs, sure, I will do that. Could I talk about players with high chances of killing it tonight, not dribble? Yes, Dale, I can. Yuri says, I should have been nominated for Best Fantasy Podcast. Thank you. I appreciate that. How are they chosen? You've got to be a member of the Fantasy Sports Writers Association, and you've got to nominate yourself. And I'm not a member, and I didn't nominate myself. So that's how... Look, I'm not saying that I would have the best podcast or I'd win an award, but I'm not a member of that association, so I'm never going to be nominated for any award of Best Fantasy Podcast or Best Fantasy Basketball. Because I'm not a member there. I don't see the point of it. I'm not going to send things through to nominate myself, so that's how. All right. What else is going on today? Zion and Herb are out, as we mentioned. I can't believe they're starting Mike Muscala. Unbelievable. All right, what else do we need to know here? Was it Dan or Dean before that wanted to know who's got the best chance of killing it today? Just a weird comment. Danny? Dino? Don't remember your name. Who is a guy that we would look to stream in today, though? Obviously, if Alex Caruso is unfathomably available, it's him. There's Nick Richards. There's Dasumu, who's still just available in like 70+% of leagues and should not be. That is a clear must-roster player at this point. Suggs. Norman Powell with Paul George out as well. Cody Martin's in a pretty good spot. DeAndre Jordan. I actually added DeAndre Jordan today in a 14-team league. Then there's the Pelicans guys. We just don't know what they're going to do, but I would guess that Namua legend Jordan Hawkins has a pretty big bump there. Him, Trey, and Dyson Daniels are all going to be pretty big step-up players, I'm guessing. I don't know if Grayson Allen's playing. Mahi, he's got the blue Q next to his name. Arias, I've talked about this a lot, about Halliburton's comments. Halliburton is echoing exactly what... I retweeted this yesterday, that as soon as the details from the CBA came out on the 2nd of April last season, I tweeted this. So the 65-game requirement is dumb. And then I further expanded why it is dumb. And then we are seeing why it is dumb literally right now. So, yeah, I agree with him. Is Garland on minutes restriction? I don't believe that they have told us that, but I would think he'd be on some sort of a soft restriction, just given some of his conditioning things. Is every game today going to be a blowout? Let's have a look. I don't trust Chicago to ever blow anybody out, so no, that one. Clippers, Wizards, that one should be. Cavs, Pistons, yes. Kings, Heat. I don't know that one will be a blowout. I think both teams are mid enough to keep it close. Pelicans, Rockets. Rockets aren't that good, but the Pelicans are missing players. That should be close. Dallas, Minnesota. Well, that'll be a blowout. Magic, Spurs. Should be a blowout. Denver, OKC. I guess the Thunder win that one. Phoenix, Brooklyn. Phoenix should win. Blowout, probably, maybe, or maybe not. And then Milwaukee, Portland. There's going to be a few, but every time we think there's going to be a blowout, it doesn't always happen that way. If even if we look at the Vegas lines. So Dallas, Minnesota, you got a 13-point spread. 10.5 for Milwaukee, Portland. 13 for Detroit, Cleveland. And 9.5 for the Clippers, Washington. Otherwise, it's 6, 2.5, 1, 6, 5.5, 3.5. So they're not really blowouts, are they? I don't think they are, they? Do we put Wendell Carter in our lineup today? Yeah, I think you should, Burkhunt. Cam Johnson's enigma. His fundamental talent is so good. Is it so good? Like, it's okay. I think he's fine. I wouldn't bother in a 10-team league, though. The point of the awards is gain more recognition to you in your show. Thanks, appreciate it. Again, I don't know. Do I really want to pay an annual membership to put my show to nominate? I don't know. For some reason, it just doesn't appeal to me. Maybe I can just be the mysterious, broody outsider who's not in the association that comes out with a show that doesn't get nominated because I'm on the cool dark side. Sure. Dane's back in Portland tonight, correct. Gabe Shea, no, we have no information on his MRI, no. No, that wasn't it, Judd. It was like, it was called like the Wilson theorem or something. I haven't even looked at those lineups, Sui. No Sohan in the Rising Star game is ridiculous. All right, let me go and have a look. Who would be out? That's always one of those things I want to know, is who would be out. So let's have a look. Let's bring it up. Sohan should be in ahead of... The list is pretty strong, to be fair. Well, Jordan Hawkins, yes, he should be in ahead of. Keontae George, yes, but you got to have... How do they even decide this? Why is there's one more rookie than there is sophomore? What's the way that they do it? Are they doing it based... Is it just all in general, or is there got to be a number of sophomores and rookies? I don't know. But Sohan's had a better year than Jaden Ivey. That's true. He's had a better year than... Oh, yeah, Dyson Daniels. Come on. Yeah, that's ridiculous. He's got to be ahead of Dyson Daniels, easy. And he's had a better year than Scoot. He's had a better year than Hawkins. Had a better year than Keontae. A better year than Bilal. But I reckon you got to have a certain amount of rookies in there, is my guess. What other news? So really there's only two statuses we're waiting on now. It's Grayson Allen and Bol. That's it. They're both questionable. Allen starting, Bol reserve. Everything else is confirmed. And then we're just waiting on lineup decisions. So what do the Heat make any changes? Does Highsmith continue to start? What do the Pelicans do? We've got Hawkins and Murphy as the two starters there. The Mavericks are going to have a weird lineup. We expect DeAndre Jordan to replace Nikola Jokic, but it could be Najee. We've got Cason Wallace in for Jalen Williams. We don't expect much to change with the Nets, the Bucks, or the Blazers. So there's not much waiting on, which is good. What do I think about the Skater Boy rest of season for 9-cap? I don't know, man. It's pretty tough. Like, I don't know when he's coming back. I think he can be way better than he's been, obviously. But my level of faith in it's pretty low, man. I think you still roster him, though. No info on Emmanuel quickly yet, Jim. How long do I predict LaMelo will be out? LaMelo said the other day that it's just like he should be back. Like he thought he could be back today. I think he could be back the next game, but who knows, man. He's got ankle soreness. That's why LaMelo is out. Yeah, there are the 4 G League players too, Matt, but I believe they have to have those G League guys in. That's part of the deal with it. So I don't think Sohan could replace. They've got Izan Almansa, Matas Bazelis, Ron Holland, Tyler Smith from the Ignite. Then you got Oscar Shibwe in there. You got Mac McClung and Alondes Williams in there. But the Thompsons didn't get in either. Amen hasn't played that much, obviously, but Asar didn't get in either. Which again, thank you to you, Monty. There's a lot of chat in here, which is great. Yeah, McClung's in the game. He's part of the G League part of it, though. So I don't think Sohan couldn't be in ahead of him. Can you keep Hardy longer or claim Reed tomorrow? I would much rather add Reed. I don't know that Kyrie or Doncic are going to be out longer than today. So you got Hardy for today, but you might have Reed for 3 months. You might have him for 3 games. I don't know. But there's a much greater chance. It's about the process again. It's about trying to, what's the chance here? What's the chance that Doncic and Kyrie are out for 2 months? It's 0%. What's the chance that Embiid is out for 2 months? It's a lot bigger than 0. Let's say it's 10. What's the chance that Hardy has 1 start? I'd say it's 80%. What's the chance that Reed gets 7 in? Well, I'd say it's 80% as well. So that's how you view. That's how I view that anyway. When a measure becomes a target, it ceases to be a good measure. That's the one, Judd. What's the name of that? That's the one the guy told me. What's the name of the theory? I need to find it. Goodhart's Law. Thank you. That's it. Goodhart's Law. About the games played thing. When a measure becomes a target, it ceases to be a good measure. True. So everyone just tends to optimize for that objective regardless of what the consequences of that are. So everyone's like, we've got to play 65 games. Whereas imagine that Halliburton didn't rush back from that hamstring injury, sat another 3 games or whatever, and then came back, but only ended up at 64 games. Is that better than him missing that extra time and then playing on a 20-minute limit for 6 games or whatever? Yeah, I agree. Good hustle. Thank you, Judd. Appreciate that a lot. Jacob, definitely not a Sigma male, mate. Hate that term. Hate all that Sigma Alpha bullshit. Is Kennard even worth holding? Probably not, to be honest. Doubtful again? Probably not. Just go and add him later on. What are my thoughts on future face of the league, Scotland Barnes, rest of season? Well, one thing, he's not the future face of the league, but shout out to Darko for sticking up for his man. I think he's going to be pretty good, but he's one of those guys who, I said this yesterday, not his fault, he's a third-year player. He's not going to be that number one guy every single night. He's going to have a lot of off games where other guys need to step up because he's not that player yet. He might not ever become that player. It's really hard to become that player. So he's going to have some fluctuations for sure, but I think he's going to be relatively successful. Also, I'm pretty sick of the shit about Scott Barnes at the moment. Like, I know that I've been down on him, but that's just my valuation of him as a player, right? And he's improved a lot. But there's so much stuff about, teasing him for like, accusing him of being autistic or just leave the man alone. Like, who cares if he is? It's absolutely ridiculous. Barnes in free fall since the trade. Actually, not true, Trent. Since the trade, his numbers have actually jumped up. He just was bad last game. What do I think about the Bucks not being able to play good pick and roll defense? I'd like to see like a few more. Look, let's give it a month or so to see what happens with Doc Rivers in there. Anything changes, doubt it. It's personnel though. Like, who the hell do they have to guard that? They've got the bigs, but there's no smalls who can defend. So it's going to be a problem. Yes, for sure it is. Is Tari Eason worth picking up now? I don't think so. Yeah, look, he could be back at any point here. We know this. But given this setback and this length of absence, like, is he going to be back playing 18 minutes a night? And we have to wait for him to get to 24, 25. And now we've had Cam Whitmore step up into a larger role. So will Eason ever get those minutes again? I just think it's a long time like stash payoff that probably has a low chance of turning out, and they're not the ones that I really enjoy. What non-injury pathway does the rider John Isaac have to 27 minutes? Take backup center and power forward? Yeah, so it's probably 13 minutes behind Paulo. You might have 18 minutes behind Wendell if he plays 30, but then you lose a lot of bench scoring without Mo Wagner in there. 27 minutes could also be you play Franz at the 2, and that reduces Suggs and Fultz and Anthony. I think 20. I don't think his body can handle 27, honestly. So I think that the path that is very, very low. Thank you for that clarification on that coup. When healthy, can we potentially see Melton push 30 more consistently? Yeah, he was getting like 33, 34 minutes a night before the injury. So, yeah, I do think that's hugely possible. Is Ibu Baji going to get any minutes now? I highly doubt it. Why is Isaac the writer? Because he's been, like, when he was out for 3 years with a torn ACL, he was writing books with Ben Shapiro. What do I think is causing the Heat to struggle, James? Really good question. They're not very good. Simple as that. Their roster's not very good. It's very thin. They have no power forwards whatsoever on that team. They're just not that good. And I think they get overrated because Heat culture. They also weren't good last season. They went on a really, really impressive run in the playoffs. And I don't like to say the word fluke because they did it, but nothing in the regular season would have suggested they were that team. And their team got worse in the offseason. So that's why. They're struggling because they're just not very good. Will Mobley serve a minutes limit? Yeah, Dave, I'd be really shocked if he doesn't. What is the ratio of category leagues to points leagues? I'm in 1 points league and like 7 or 8 category leagues. What's up with my medical assistant, Obi? He's downstairs barking at ghosts or whatever he's doing. What are my thoughts on ESPN update for injuries? No idea, Trent. Don't play on ESPN. Don't know what you mean. Tim asks if I watched Matisse Leibel's video on Dwop Reith's NBA journey. I have seen it. I haven't watched it. I've seen it pop up and go, okay, I should watch that, but I haven't seen it yet. Do I think Aaron Wiggins is a top 200 dynasty asset? Yeah, I had someone ask me this question about Aaron Wiggins yesterday, Billy Goat, and yeah, I think we decided that that's where he can peak at, like 150 to 170, that sort of area. So yeah, I think so. He's been impressive. Biggest fantasy disappointment besides Poole? Well, it depends how you want to view this. I think Jason Tatum's been a pretty big disappointment for where he was drafted. Wiggins has been a huge disappointment, obviously. It really depends on where certain guys were being drafted and grabbed. Like Zach LaVine, huge disappointment, massive disappointment. Not only the disappointment of his injury, but his play. Kajus, I'm sure it's not Kajus. Kajus Stepanovicius. Have I been to Europe? Yes. I was in France in 2022 for a month. And then back ages ago, like 20 years, I did like a tour of about 10 different countries. France, Spain, England, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Italy, Netherlands. Nah, Jado, look, Jimmy Barnes does not have a cameo. I had a look. What are my views on the Timberwolves winning a championship? I had a bet on them about 6 weeks ago. I just froze then. I don't know what to talk about. Yeah, look, they're definitely in the mix. I worry a little bit about some of the offensive stuff, but they're in the mix, yeah. ESPN Custom is lit. You're all sleeping. No, it's not, Trent. It's bad. Do you know why it's bad? Well, they don't update their player database. What do you mean by ESPN Custom? You know what the customization you could do on ESPN? You can do that on any site and more on Fantrax, like a million times more things. And ESPN doesn't care. They don't give you the flexibility to do so many different things. They don't update the player database at all. There are players who have played in the NBA last season who are on rosters who you can't even add. And it takes me calling them out on social media for them to put those players in. They don't care. They don't put out any sort of projections that make any sense. So ESPN Custom is not lit. It's actually the worst fantasy platform there is. If Conley goes down, the Wolves are cooked. True, Tim. They need a backup bad. Kyle Lowry would be very interesting for them. Do I think the Knicks are contenders? I do not. No, I don't. I think there are still some concerns with some. They're playing really well at the moment. Their offense is still a little bit of a concern to me. I think best case for them, conference championship, but I don't think they're a contender. No Scotland trips. No, I've never been to Scotland. ESPN now have a return date for injured players. They put Embiid. So all they're doing with this, Paul, is they've got Embiid returning 1st of February. So all they're doing is that, and if there's no update on a player, they're not projecting anything out. All they're doing is just putting, he'll be back the next game. So I think it's actually probably worse than having nothing there. We've got a couple of minutes left here. Just waiting to see if there's any more info. Nothing else is coming through yet. Haven't got those Kings or Heat lineups, which I imagine they would stay the same. Would I stash Smart if I had open eye up? Yeah, look, what's the cost of it? Sure, like he's probably still weeks away, but I'd have no hesitation in dropping Smart if I needed to use that spot. Someone keeps asking me about my projection of Donovan Mitchell's line today. I'll tell you what we have him projected at today. 35 and 6. There you go. I don't know if Garland's going to play the back-to-back, Bruno. I would say he's in doubt to play it. Who are we prioritizing in 12-team points leagues? Paul Reed or Josh Hart? No, Randall could be out longer than Embiid. I think I would take Hart there. Just about to drop McConnell to stream. Guess I just hold since Haley's questionable. McConnell's questionable as well. So I'd be okay with moving on from McConnell. Have I ever been to Mexico? Victor, I was there in July for like 6 days. We were in Cabo for 6 days. 3 favorite trade deadline ads. Mark, nobody is standing out to me. Like if a Kongwu's available, it's him, but no one stands out to me as a great stash at this point. Do I think AD will be back tomorrow? I think... I would say probably not. Probably not, but I don't know. We're going to head out of here. Thanks, everyone, for being a part of the show. Just would love to have gotten that Sacramento and Miami lineup in, but we don't, and I need to go and work over at Basketball Monster and get stuff started and get games cracking on. So I appreciate you guys being here and being a part of the chat as we mix basketball talk with other nonsense as well. Do I think Conley will be on a minutes limit? He's always on a minutes limit, and he's always playing just like 30 minutes a night anyway, so I don't think it'll be any different to that. Hold Jackson Davis. I honestly don't think that much is going to open up there. No. I know. All right, we need to get out of here. Thank you, everyone. Again, hit the thumbs up on the way out. I'll see you guys soon.